Incels, violent virgins, or millennial bullshit? Find out today on Konnector. Welcome to Konnector, the show that discusses the nitty-grittiest of the nitty-gritty. Today we'll be discussing incels. We have our guests here today, Brooke Elizabeth.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thanks.
And Luke Mentor. Thank you for being here. Concerned citizen.
Thank you for having
of course. So we are going to discuss incels. I don't know how familiar you are with this topic.
I have no knowledge of it.
No knowledge of whatsoever.
There's a slight knowledge.
Okay.
That's why I'm concerned enough to be here.
Incel stands for involuntary celibacy. So
involuntary.
Yes. So meaning people who are not having sex, not because they don't want to though, but because
somehow they can't.
Well, there's lots of reasons why they can't, and
is it like a physical thing, or is
no,
it like
it's not ED.
No, they are physically capable.
Yes.
They're physically, so they choose not to.
It's not even that they choose not to.
It's not a choice. It's involuntary.
They believe society forces them to not be able to have it in some way or another. Like the cosmos is just against them in some way.
Yes, the cards are stacked against them.
Yeah, the cosmos is cock blocking them, basically.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Did you hear about this incident in Toronto in this past April? This guy, I don't remember his name, he killed 10 people with a cargo van and injured 16 others. And he was gunning for women. What happens is these kids basically have a hard time getting dates, getting laid. And they go into these threads on Reddit and stuff like that, and they talk about how hard it is for them and how they're so self-pitying. A lot of the stuff that I watch these videos, I'm like, there's nothing wrong with you. You just need to fucking sack up.
So it's
and meet
it's
someone,
like a mind
talk.
block?
So what I think it is, all right, well, so you have the black pill. Let's go back to let's go to the black pill. The black pill, you know what the red pill is, the blue pill, red pill?
I'm familiar with the analogy.
You woke.
Yeah, we're woke.
You woke?
We woke.
Well,
are we?
Yeah, we are. I am. I don't know about the rest of you.
So the black pill is basically the red pill, but with the nihilistic awareness that everything is, you're fucked, basically. There's nothing you can do.
So you take the Debbie Downer pill?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you wake up and
these incels do, yeah.
Yeah.
You take the Debbie Downer pill.
You take the Debbie Downer pill, and so basically these kids, they say that there's physical reasons why women will always go for someone else. They'll always go for the dominant alpha male. They'll always pass them by because they're betas, and has to do with like the structure of your skull, like the angle of your eyes and your cheekbones and your chin and all this stuff. And so the black pill is something that they use as irrefutable proof that their reality, this ideology, is fact or truth. They created.
These people exist?
Yes. Okay. It gets so much weirder.
Okay.
Hang on to your seat. So basically, yeah, you awaken to the bleakness of your reality and the hopelessness. See, that's the thing about these self-described incels is they feel that there's no responsibility, that it's not their own responsibility to, or that it's their own, that they are responsible for their state. You know, like,
yeah, they don't believe it. They believe it's it's imposed on them by the world around them.
Right.
When really it's probably because they're antisocial or just so, socially inept that they can't.
I feel like I know one of these guys.
Really?
I'm sure you do.
I feel like
I know a few.
I feel like I do. Is it they physically, because they're so stuck in their head in the black pill, they can't physically.
Sure, I see.
Get a hard on, or just can't
not,
physically come.
No, that's not. It has nothing to do with erectile dysfunction or anything like that. How about this? Well, actually, the term incel was coined by a woman. It's a Canadian woman who found, after going to college, she was very socially awkward and didn't have a lot of success with men and stuff like that, and she had no sexual encounters, prior to this point, but it was the first time she had internet access. This is like in, early 90s or whatever. And she started doing all this research about human sexuality and decided that she was bisexual. So she started dating women. And the relationship lasted for about 6 months, I think. When they broke up, she turned to this online community that she started, forming, and coined that term, incel, involuntary celibate, for people who found themselves in that situation, not because of any physical, but actually, I don't know, the way she describes it is she wanted to include everyone. People who were so outside of sexual norms that were, like, attracted to animals, and they were obviously involuntarily celibate because of that. She just wanted to create a place where...
Okay, so take the animal thing, for instance.
Hmm?
I imagine if you're attracted to animals, you probably are doing some bestiality stuff. So that they wouldn't technically count because they would probably be doing that.
Well, if you make the decision to do it, I think there's probably a lot of people who struggle with those attractions because they're so outside of the mores.
Yeah, out of the box.
So they're celibate, so that they're not
having sex.
They're not crossing that what they feel is their boundary.
Like a moral boundary. That's just when it comes to animals. But I'm saying, like, okay, incels. Like, I don't think you would ever find a homosexual or bisexual incel.
Oh, like, no, I definitely think so. I think there's plenty of people who don't feel that they can have those kinds of relationships because of
maybe it goes against their religious values or something like that. Yeah,
just,
okay. That makes sense.
Their family is going to poo-poo it or whatever.
So does an incel they don't actively engage in sex?
I think it's more something that you describe yourself as being when you find your life in that situation, that condition.
Is it kind of like you're asexual?
No, I think that there's definitely a desire to...
Yeah, they have the desire to have sex, but for some reason or another, they don't have the...
They don't feel like they deserve it?
They feel like... Yes, actually, they feel like they are... Well, I can't speak for every incel. Okay, but a lot of these violent ones, like the guy in Toronto and the guy in California, there's another one in Oregon, they feel that they have been slighted, that women... they have a very misogynistic perspective on women. They think that they are owed sex, that it is due them, that they hate women in a lot of cases, and they talk about on these like Reddit threads about raping and murdering women. It's so twisted.
But they're celibate.
But it's like they've just kind of thrown their heads up in the air and say, well, it's not my fault. There's something wrong with me.
They're saying like every woman in society is like this, so they won't give me the kind of the time of day. Not because I'm a creep and
I'm
socially awkward or whatever.
Yeah,
it's because like there's someone out there for everyone, and you have to put yourself multiples, and you have to put yourself out there to find them.
Yeah.
But if these people are too afraid or just I don't know why. Like it seems like anyone who's has this state of mind and wants to do something about it could easily make that happen. Prostitution's the oldest oldest profession in mankind, and all they have to do is go spend fucking $40, get a whore to blow you or whatever,
Seriously though, it's that easy.
Yeah.
So they use like that guy in Toronto, he used his violence as an excuse for being an incel. Like
He used his being an incel as an excuse for his violence.
Yeah, that's what I was...
Yeah, so on his Facebook, he incited the...
it's okay, concerned citizen.
Thank you.
Or he invoked, not incited. He invoked... concerned citizen. Invoked this other murderer. We're not going to name names here. But a murderer in California. He killed 6 people. Okay, so just to give you an example, this kid killed 6 people in California, 3 of which were males, right? And some of these people on Reddit were so, they glorify him. The guy in Toronto basically was glorifying him when, he posted this thing on Facebook. I'm not going to read it or whatever, but...
yeah, that's the guy who left the 100 or 3, however many page manifesto that was...
Yes, the California kid.
Insane, yeah.
Yeah, and
I guess I just don't read,
you can look it up on YouTube.
News like that, it's just...
And then there were some people...
Too much to even... This is like a whole new, I've not...
Oh, yeah. Same for me. It was I didn't know nothing about this before I started researching it.
It just seems like a sorry-ass excuse for being a shitty human being. Oh, I'm an incel. The world hates me. I can't get off because I don't deserve it. I'm sorry, quit, get a new deal of cards, like, ante up, like, don't, I don't know, it seems like anyone will just use any excuse for anything, like,
yeah, I don't want to be responsible. It's not my fault. I'm deformed. I'm socially awkward.
Well, maybe they are deformed, but that's not an excuse to be a shitty person.
Right. Exactly.
But even if you're deformed, you can still find somebody to love you. It's not.
It's true though. I mean,
or
seriously.
pay someone. Yeah. So like, I mean, if you have the choice between buying a hooker or going out and killing or raping someone, like.
There's a healthier choice there.
They're all illegal, but, one's better option than the other, and it's not going to end up with you being incarcerated for life or, taking somebody else's life. Or...
Human beings by nature, though, I think we don't want to be lonely. I think it's nature to want to be, to couple up, or to, like, be in a group. We're a lonely
I understand that, but, like, I
don't
think, like, incels... I mean,
I think
granted,
that's so
different.
wide. That's such a broad term. I feel like, like it could mean.
Yeah, like these people have to have some kind of other like underlying mental.
It's just like a
disorder
blanket. It's a blanket
issue or something.
Then.
Right.
Whether it's like social awkwardness or like they get stressed or whatever being around people or okay, well, there's chat rooms and shit. Go meet somebody online and start a conversation with them there until you're comfortable enough to meet in person. There's plenty of ways to go around it. And, like, for these people, if they put that tag on themselves, they've already given up hope and, probably should be on a watch list or something.
Dwayne Gill. Father, husband, state trooper, comedian. We catch up with Dwayne at Easter Market Brewery, then later at the popular Sweetwater Grill in Waterford, where Dwayne entertains the masses and describes his comedy as
my comedy's a lot like having a finger stuck up your ass. It's a little bit uncomfortable at first, but after a while, you gotta like it. So.
And guess what? I did.
He's so good, he'll be back in the kitchen cooking, and he deserves it. Good to go. Oh, man, love it, man. Look at you guys, man. I love it when I first walk on stage and I look in the face of the audience, and a lot of times I can sense the anticipation. I can sense it because I know what you guys are doing. You're judging me. Yeah, you're judging me. All the guys are looking at me saying, is he funny, right? And all the ladies are looking at me saying, totally doable. Yeah, I can tell you are, right? He was like, I will do that black guy, right? He was like, I'm down with the swirl. Didn't you say that, huh? You don't get a lot of us in Oakland County, do you, huh? Except the jail, but anyway. Oh, man. It's so good to be the only chip in the cookie here tonight. Oh, my goodness. Where do you keep your black people? You're like, you just said it in jail, fucker. Oh, my God. You guys are fun, man. Give it up for Sweetwater putting this on, man. What a great venue. Sweetwater Entertainment. They got enough shit on the stage. And I hope I don't run into some shit here. Yeah, the decoration committee really went wild today. It's fun stuff. Before I get started, My comedy's a lot like having a finger stuck up your ass. It's a little bit uncomfortable at first, but after a while, you kind of like it. So buckle up, fuckers. It's good to be here, man. It's good to be here. Man, I feel good. You like this shirt? Looking good today. I feel great. I'm still feeling good, man. I've been working out a lot, man. I lost 55 pounds. Can you believe that shit? 55 pounds. Thank you. Thank you. And it was a big goal of mine. You know, I want to lose the weight because what they say is for guys, for every 10 pounds you lose, you gain 1 inch of dick. And so my goal was 60. So I'm almost there. Yeah, but I feel really good today. Man, look at the audience. People sitting right up front. These guys here, good guys. Man, it's so nice you guys came out tonight as a couple. That's so nice. These 2 guys right here. And they're like, we're not a couple yet. And now, where you guys from, man? Here, Waterford, huh?
Building.
What's that?
The building.
Oh, the fucking building. Okay. They just make you guys here in the building. You live here, upstairs in the projection room. Okay. Very cool. This is a cool venue. I guess this used to be a porn theater. And this is a lot of porn. Am I right, ma'am? Am I right? You probably, right? So you guys came, you know, don't put one of those blue lights up in here. And but it's really good to be here, man. I'm so glad that you guys came out, man. We're up against MSU and the game tonight, huh? How about MSU? We got some Spartans in the house? Yeah. Very good. Any Wolverines? Awesome. I don't understand sports rivalries. I really don't. I went to a real college, University of Phoenix, and our rivals were DeVry, and we used to see each other on the internet. We used to be like, I hate you. But nah, man, it's good to be here, man. It's good to be here. I've been traveling quite a bit. I just got back from Los Angeles. I was out there doing a few shows. It was a lot of fun, you know, to be in Hollywood and stuff. And after, you know, obviously my career is going blazes because I'm in fucking Waterford. And, you know, yeah, I am. Yeah. My make-a-wish has come true. But I am glad to be here, man. I am. I'm from Detroit originally. Anybody from Detroit here? Detroit? It's funny though, man. When I see people and I ask them, you from Detroit, they'd be like, yeah. I'd be like, what part? They'd be like, Flint. And that is not Detroit, right? But I'm from Detroit, man, which is kind of cool. It's funny, though, because oftentimes when I tell people from Detroit, they just automatically assume that I grew up poor. I didn't. My parents had money, which made it hard for me to be angry at the white man because he was our accountant. And I actually went to private school. That's why I speak like this. You're laughing, but I'm a child of the 70s, man. You know, I was a bad kid. And what would parents do back in the 70s when you were a bad kid? They would threaten you to send you to where? Military school, right? Yeah. Did you go? Well, my parents threatened me, and they sent my black ass to military school. They did. I went to military school in a place called Plantation, Florida. Can you believe that shit? I'm so glad it wasn't Lynchburg, Virginia. Plantation, Florida. I did. I went to a military school called Florida Air Academy. I went there from the 6th grade to the 9th. And it was a boarding school. It was kind of like that movie Taps that was Tom Cruise was in, you know, before he was gay. And I'm in a military school, and my parents sent me away, and it was cool, you know, and I enjoyed it, but it was kind of weird because I was one of the only black kids at that school. It was the very first time somebody ever called me the N-word. Yeah. I'm in military school, and one kid was like, we played football, and after one of the tackles, this guy hits me in my side. He's like, fuck you, you black ass nigger. I was like, oh. I couldn't believe the kid called me that, right? I'd never been called that before in my life. So I go back to the huddle, and I'm there with the rest of the team, and I'm bending over. I'm like, hey, man, number 75 called me a black-ass nigger. The quarterback got pissed and said, they don't call our nigger. True story.
ever heard about incels?
No.
What are they?
Who are celibate?
Ever heard of the term incel?
No.
No.
Okay. What is the red pill?
I don't know.
What is the blue pill?
I don't know.
Red pill?
Yeah.
I know the blue pill.
I read about it a long time ago.
Never mind.
Like there's dating sites and this and that. They just maybe their expectations are too high.
I'm a proponent of suisexuality, so that changes the dynamics, because if you're out there looking for somebody, it's not like there's a lack of people. So it's something else.
I've heard of the blue pill if you're catching
I've heard of the blue and the red pill.
Red pill from Matrix.
Yes.
Take the red pill, you get to see the truth, if I'm right.
Yes.
And then the blue pill puts you back into the false reality that you're living day to day.
It's scary when you read about it, and if you read what those guys write, it's terrifying the way that they think.
Why don't these incel people just come together and date each other?
The incel stuff to me, it's like comes from like a general like chauvinistic like attitude, and it's also, I think there's like mental health.
You could probably find something online. I'm sure they have a course or something for that online, to where you can meet up with somebody who can get people left and right who has no problem, and kind of teach them the ropes, maybe take them out, teach them to dress better, teach them with the more self-confidence. Honestly, it's all self-confidence. If you don't have the confidence, a woman's going to see that. If you can't walk up to a woman like they're just another Joe average person, like you're making a conversation at a concert with, they're going to see it.
I don't know. Honestly, it seems like guys just can't get laid, and so they're, pretty angry about it. Yeah, I feel like that happens. That happens a lot. Like you see a lot, like, I don't want to say like school shooters or something.
Their insecurities, they do need to find some ways to cope with them. Because I have my insecurities, you have your insecurities, you have your insecurities. But we've made that conscious decision of not letting it affect our personal lives.
It does, but it's like
That's not
it's
an
crazy.
oppressed part of our culture. That's a choice. Like, you can go get it in somehow, some way.
John Doe had a video online, and I think it seemed like he was frustrated about how he couldn't get any, this one girl didn't like him or something, and he was like a school shooter or something like that,
But what I'm thinking though is that I think it's one thing to feel as if like you're not getting laid or you're not getting the attention of the opposite sex, but to believe that is like inherent in you, and that you are actually genetically inferior and like never ever will come out of this, I feel like is much different. And I feel like what you're saying incel is different than your garden variety sexually frustrated young man or woman.
They band together and they like feed into each other's narrative.
Yeah, they hate the world because they can't get laid.
What can we do for them? What are we gonna open up, like a resource center for people that can't
not
get
even
fucked?
for them.
It sounds like this is the type of community that exists largely in a digital space. It's an internet culture, is what it sounds like.
like something to hide behind the computer.
Right, yeah.
And like for me myself, I was extremely insecure in high school. I get to college, nobody knows me, I don't know them. Hey, how are you doing today? What are you doing after class? You want to meet up and study? Oh, hey, you want to go on a date? Just be confident, and you got to be yourself. I mean, yeah, granted, you might have to find yourself before you can be yourself, but hey, things don't happen overnight.
If I had a micro penis, I wouldn't fuck anybody. I just I don't know, die.
Yeah,
At least they're not
imagine if you had a
dead.
micro penis and no social skills and a terrible home life and a really shitty job and no car.
What if you're like a
and nothing but the
billionaire, though?
internet?
That I think that there's not enough evidence for especially a teenager, who it sounds like a lot of these people are younger, to know that they will forever like be this way. You know what I mean? And that it is possible to change. That would be my response.
Understand the physical part of it. If you guys can like reiterate on that, it's just like, so an incel, they are denying themselves because they think that that's what they they deserve, but I mean, can they physically be aroused and they just choose
yes.
not to because of their mental situation?
Right. It's not. It has nothing to do with like erectile dysfunction.
I understand
like that.
but the mental part is creating a block with the physical part.
Right. And I'm sure that there's plenty of guys out there who are still like jerking off to porn, who are self-described incels, but I think this is more has to do with your attitude towards other people, how you make sense of your dissatisfaction, your having no success with the
with the opposite
mates,
sex or whatever
exactly.
you're attracted to.
Right. I mean, it's basically taking all of the frustration, maybe the isolation, and giving it a name so that thing can be responsible for my problems, not myself like needing to change or.
So it's very narcissistic.
I feel like it is. I feel like a lot of these people, when I watch, especially when I watch their videos, these are very self.
Videos?
Oh yeah, like vlogging.
For real?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just, I mean, you can Google it on YouTube and or find it on YouTube and just there's so many people who are alone, and that's the part that really breaks my heart about all this. Is I think the media has really focused on the violence and stuff like that, and we mentioned it here, but there's a lot of people who call themselves this this name, and they're really just lonely people.
So why don't they just, all right, if they're already talking to each other, why don't they get together?
But the other thing is they have this whole system worked out. Like, okay, so people who have sex, like men and women, they call them Stacys and Chads, right? I don't know why those two names were selected, but those are people who have sex, are enjoying sex.
Yeah, they're regular people like us.
Right, and incels are not, that's like the opposite. Okay. But it's like a cult mentality almost too, like of them and us, And
they want to have an uprising where they kill and then what? Then
of these, like the guy in Toronto, he, on his Facebook post, is like the incel rebellion has already begun. The beta uprising, the beta males rising up and taking out all the alpha males and
okay, but if they're betas, how are they going to beat the alphas anyway?
What are they going to do if they win? How are they going to reproduce?
If they're already
are we just going to die off?
I mean, I don't honestly think that they would ever be able to rally the kind of numbers to
of course
accomplish this.
That's not, and plus they're all too big of pussies anyway. Because if they can't even get,
I don't know, man. These guys they arm themselves and they go on fucking killing sprees.
Yeah,
and it's
they arm themselves and go on killing sprees. Because that's what because they're cowards,
right?
Instead of going out and facing their fears and going and talking to the girl that they like, right. Or you don't even have to do that. Just buy her some flowers or something. And, edible arrangement. Be like, hey, I've got a crush on you. Give me a call.
Or how about
send her a carnation at lunchtime?
A carnation at lunchtime.
Instead of treating women like sexual objects to be acquired, treat them like human beings.
Yeah,
and then you might have a little more success. But it's also this strange like hyper focus on getting laid. I mean, everybody wants to have sex, right? I mean, it's fun. Nobody doesn't. Well, I guess that's not true. There's probably people who don't want to have sex, but for the most part,
9 times out of 10, most people.
Right.
But even then, these incels, so if they want sex, maybe, all right, I think it's got to be more than that, because if they wanted sex, they could just go buy a prostitute.
Right.
I think they're either incapable or just insanely afraid of
they're just sociopaths.
Everything else that goes with it. Yeah, like actually having a relationship, because there's way more to a relationship. I mean the people with the
movement.
Yeah,
not like your average spinster or Herman, that can't, I don't know. I'm just saying Herman because of the Chad Stacey. I don't know.
We'll call them Hermans.
What about Gertrude and Herman?
Gertrude and Herman.
Gertrude was so the girl that didn't get a date.
Sorry, Gertrude.
I still would have gave her a pity fuck.
Oh my god.
No joke, especially if it's Vegas.
Yeah.
And this is the other part that...
as a concerned citizen, though, trying to help
out. Yeah, I just don't want her to join the number of the freaks, so...
I gotcha.
The part that concerns me, too, is, as I was reading more and more about this, was like, how can we help these people, right? How do people help someone who is taken on this mentality? And you know, I mean, it's like, how do you rationalize, or how do you reason with someone who's a nihilist?
Is there support groups for people like this?
I think there is, but they also have a built-in response to help from outsiders. You know, like they want us to just take the blue pill again and you know, go back to sleep mode, or, you know, whatever. It's almost like, that's why I mentioned, like a cult mentality. I mean, like, once you're in, it's like so hard to get out, it seems. You know, like,
well, because you've already given up at that point. Like,
right.
If you're going to self identify as one of these people, you've already given up because you believe that the world or reality is just against you ever having a relationship.
Do you think it's like cognitive dissonance? You know, where it's so overwhelming, the thought of trying to have some sort of sexual relationship, because that's what society, like, you know, that's what, you know, if you're not having
there's
sex,
pressure to do so.
There's pressure to do
right.
so they disconnect. Like, they have to create this black pill, you know, this, you know, profile on Reddit or whatever, and do these things because that's the only way that they can mentally deal with them feeling
their isolation and frustration.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I think that's, you know, I think everybody's individual case is different.
Yes. But the people that claim, like, I'm an incel and I'm on this, you know, I'm in this movement, you know, I feel like that takes it beyond, like, that's just an extra step. You know, like the incel thing, like you said, it could be people that just, you know,
meeting other people who have the same experience or feel that they are,
or lack of experience.
They should have a connection with these people. Just given that, why don't they meet with each other and hook up and have relationships? Like,
I mean, that's I think what the original creator of this web
intended,
just to be a meeting place. Look, we do that for alcoholics, we do that for drug addicts. Meet together, you know, like, support one another. You grow, you overcome when you have connection, because, like you said earlier, human beings are societal. They're you know, they want to connect. We want to connect to one another, you know, on all sorts of levels. It's not.
But it seems like people that would call themselves incels have already given up on that. Like, they don't.
And so, how do you deal with that mentality? How do you rationalize? How do you reason with someone who is? It's like someone who's dead set on committing suicide, right? Like, a lot of times people will say, like, suicide is 100% preventable, and I don't think that's true, because when somebody's made the decision, usually they're not going to tell you anymore. They're no more tries to do it. They're going to do it, right? And it's very fatalistic. It's, you know, it's determination. They have a determined mindset to do this thing, and I feel like you almost have to adopt that kind of mentality when you know, go into this incel stuff. You know, it's heartbreaking. I mean, you know, because it's not true, but, you know, I don't know how to reason with someone. I just would encourage you, if you feel this way, just realize that this is not the truth of your reality. You don't have to be alone.
Yeah, there's someone out there for everyone.
Right. Thanks, everybody, for watching this episode of Konnector. Be sure to like our videos on YouTube, share us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever you're using. We really appreciate that. We'll see you next time.